There's this concept in psychology, I think, about the flashbulb memory. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, absolutely. It's that moment where you can remember everything,
Right.
where you were, what you were wearing.
Exactly. But the source we're looking at today takes that idea and sort of flips it. It talks about a compass moment.
I like that. A flashbulb is just a snapshot, a compass
Yeah.
that orients you. It tells you where to go.
Right. And the source kicks off with this amazing example. It's from a sermon by a guy named Philip Gibson. He's talking about the fall of 2001.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a BBQ place in North Carolina. He can smell the hickory smoke, feel the humidity, and he sees this woman.
Okay, sounds like the start of a movie.
It does.
Yeah.
But then he jumps forward, June 2nd, 2002, just before 9 a.m. He's walking into a place called Tupelo Honey, and he meets her, Julia.
The same woman.
The same woman. And he uses these two moments to say, look, we're not trying to win a debate here. We're just saying this happened. This is real.
And that phrase, "this is real," is basically the mission for our entire deep dive today.
It is. We are connecting that BBQ joint to an ancient mountaintop and then all the way down into, of all things, an underground world from a C.S. Lewis book.
It's a heck of a journey. The source is a sermon Gibson gave on Transfiguration Sunday 2026. And the thread holding it all together is the idea of witness.
Witness. Which, can be a loaded word.
For sure. But Gibson is asking a really fundamental question. In a world that is constantly trying to make you cynical, how do you hold on to what you know is real?
How do you trust your own eyes?
Exactly. So to get there, we have to start where he starts.
Yeah.
The New Testament, second letter of Peter.
Okay.
And you have to understand the context. This is Peter, one of Jesus's inner circle. And he's at the end of his life. The clock is ticking.
And the people he's writing to, they're struggling.
Same time. They're tired, they're confused, and they have these voices whispering that the whole Jesus thing is just a nicely crafted myth.
You guys made it all up. It's a nice story, but it's not real.
That's the charge. And the normal reaction would be to get defensive, right?
Yeah.
To argue.
To pull out the logical proofs.
But Peter doesn't do that. He sort of sidesteps the whole thing. He goes right to his compass moment. He says, we were eyewitnesses of his majesty.
He just says, I was there.
He was there. And he takes them back to the Transfiguration. This is from Matthew's Gospel. Jesus takes Peter, James, and John up a mountain.
And then things get weird.
Things get very weird. Reality itself seems to peel back. Jesus' face shines like the sun. His clothes are dazzling white. And then Moses and Elijah just appear.
It's this huge visual spectacle. But the sermon makes a point that if you just focus on the light show, you're kind of missing the main event.
The visual just gets your attention. The real insight is auditory. A cloud comes over and a voice speaks.
This is my son, my beloved, with whom I am well pleased.
And that's the anchor. Gibson says we need to pay attention to what is not said in that sentence.
Okay, what isn't said?
Well, think about how we assign value. We say, this is my employee, the one who crushed their sales target, or this is my kid, the one who's a star athlete.
Right. The value is tied to performance.
Exactly. But God doesn't say, this is my son, the successful one. He doesn't say, this is my son, the one who's about to save the world.
He just says, this is my beloved.
And this is the key. He says it before the cross.
Before the big resume item.
Before the suffering, before the betrayal, before any of it. The identity is already secure. The approval is the starting line, not the finish line.
That is actually a really radical idea. We spend our whole lives trying to earn the beloved status.
It's our default setting. And Gibson connects this idea that love comes first directly to the founder of Methodism, John Wesley.
Okay. How does Wesley fit in?
Wesley had this concept he called prevenient grace. It sounds super theological, but it's actually pretty simple. Prevenient just means to go before.
So grace that gets there ahead of you.
It's the grace that's already at work in you, stirring up a desire for God, awakening you to something more, before you've done anything, before you even know to look for it.
So that moment of, maybe there's more to life, or I should really call my mom. Wesley would say, that's grace already working.
That's prevenient grace. It's not you starting the search, it's you responding to a call that's already there. God names you beloved before you do a single thing to earn it.
It's an unearned identity.
Which is the hardest kind to accept. We want to earn it. We want control.
Right. But waking up to that is tough. We don't live on the mountaintop. And this is where the source takes that turn I loved. From theology to Narnia.
C.S. Lewis. The Silver Chair.
Yeah. And the scene he picks is chilling. You have the main characters, Jill and Eustace, trapped deep underground.
In the realm of the Queen of Underland. the witch.
And the scary part is she isn't threatening them with weapons. She's just talking to them softly. She's reasoning with them.
She's trying to convince them the world they came from, the world above ground, isn't real.
It's pure gaslighting. They mention the sun, and she just smiles and says, "What is the sun?"
And they try to explain it. It's like a lamp, but it's huge and in the sky.
And she just laughs. Oh, I see. You saw my lamp, and you've imagined a bigger, better lamp. Oh, a cute little game.
She's so calm about it. She tells them Aslan the lion is just an imaginary, bigger version of a cat. She makes their reality sound childish, and her dark cave sound like the only logical option.
It's that voice of cynicism that sounds like maturity. Grow up. There is no sun. There is only the cave.
And that's the exact parallel Gibson draws. He says faith in this kind of world is refusing to be hypnotized.
Refusing to be hypnotized. I like that.
Because we have our own witches, right? Propaganda, fear-mongering news cycles, systems that tell you being kind is naive.
Mercy is weakness. Hope is for fools.
That little act of kindness doesn't change anything. It's the constant whisper that the darkness is the only reality.
So Peter, in his letter, is doing what Puddleglum does in the book. He's breaking the spell.
He's stamping his foot and shouting, "No! I saw the majesty. I heard the voice. I will not be talked out of it."
He's refusing to let the darkness define what light is.
And he tells the community, hold on to this message like a lamp shining in a dark place.
That's 2 Peter 1.19.
Right. And he says, be attentive to it. Witnessing isn't passive. You have to actively choose to look at the lamp.
And this is where the source brings in some other really powerful voices to flesh this out. Howard Thurman, James Cone, Kelly Brown Douglas.
3 giants of theology. And they're so important because they pull this whole idea out of the abstract and plant it right in the middle of justice and survival.
So let's start with Howard Thurman, the sound of the genuine.
Thurman's idea is that there's something inside all of us that is listening for what is real. It's like an internal tuning fork.
So for him, witnessing isn't about arguing. It's about recognizing the truth when you hear it. It resonates.
Exactly. It's that feeling of, yes, that is real.
But then James Cone comes in, and he makes it a lot more sharp-edged. He talks about the cross.
Cone is crucial here. He says the cross is God's yes to the oppressed and God's no to oppression. But the key for witnessing is that Cone says this liberation has to be for now.
Not just something you hope for in the afterlife.
No. If your witness isn't helping free people from actual suffering right now, Cone would ask if it's really witness at all.
And then you have Kelly Brown Douglas and this idea of covenant love.
Which is all about persistence. It's a love that just will not let go. It's stubborn.
So if you put them all together, being a lamp in a dark place means what?
It means listening for what's genuine, standing for liberation here and now, and stubbornly refusing to give up on people.
Which I think brings us to the most difficult part. How do you actually do that today? How do you believe your eyes in a world like ours?
It is so hard. Gibson says we're basically trained to distrust everything we see, every motive, every action.
We default to cynicism because it feels safer. If you don't believe in anything, you can't be let down.
But the sermon calls us back to that simple instruction from Jesus. You will know them by their fruits.
And the examples he uses are tough. They aren't sentimental. He talks about Alex Preddy.
Yeah, the ICU nurse. Someone whose life was just fruit, compassion, service. But his tragic death during a protest is a reminder that living that way has a cost.
Right. And I think the point is when you see that kind of courage, that kind of compassion that costs something, you have to name it. You can't just scroll past it.
You can't let the witch say it was meaningless. You have to say, no, that was love. That was real.
There's another story in there about the actor Henry Fonda. That one really stuck with me.
It's a hard one. He remembers his father taking him as a little boy to see the aftermath of a lynching in Omaha.
And your first reaction is, why would you ever show a child that?
But Fonda's father didn't do it for shock. The source says he did it because some things must be named if they are ever going to be resisted.
That is hard. So witnessing isn't just seeing the good stuff. It's also about refusing to look away from the terrible stuff.
That's the lamp in a dark place. If you don't name the darkness, you can't fight it. The witch wants you to accept the darkness as normal. Witnessing says, no, this is wrong. And I've seen the light, so I know this isn't it.
So, okay, this arc we've been on, we started on the Mount of Transfiguration.
With that beloved identity.
Then we went down into the underground.
To fight the hypnosis of cynicism.
And now we're on the streets trying to witness mercy and truth in the real world.
And did you notice the direction of travel? It's always down.
What do you mean?
Peter wanted to stay up on the mountain. He literally says, let's build some tents and stay here. He wanted to hang out in the glory.
But they couldn't.
They had to go back down. Gibson says, revelation is given not to entertain us, but to form us. The experience of God's love isn't a destination. It's a fueling station.
It's what you need to go back into the cave and tell people the sun is real.
Exactly. And that loops all the way back to Wesley. Grace isn't just a pass. It's not just, God loves me, I'm good.
For Wesley, grace is power.
An active force. It's the power to love, the power to forgive, the power to resist evil.
So when we see mercy out in the world, even in messy situations, even in people we disagree with, that's evidence of this prevenient grace at work.
That's it. And our job isn't to overanalyze their motives or check their political registration. Our job is just to witness, to point and say, I see that. That is real. That is fruit.
It's asking us to completely change our filter, to scan for the genuine instead of scanning for the flaw.
And that's the compass. Those moments of truth, of grace, of courage, they orient you.
The source really suggests that mercy isn't just a nice thing people do. It's actual evidence of God.
And if you believe that, every act of kindness you see is a little crack in the ceiling of the underland. It's a little bit of sun getting through.
So as we wrap this up, that's really the thought we want to leave you with. It's a question of perception.
It is.
If you walk out your door tomorrow and you start treating the mercy you see, even from people on the other side, as actual evidence of God's grace at work,
Yeah.
how does that change how you interact with them?
That is the question. Because if God is already at work in them, if they're also beloved, then the whole game changes. You're not fighting an enemy. You're talking to someone else who's just trying to wake up.
It definitely complicates things, but maybe in the best possible way. Thanks for taking this dive with us. Keep your eyes open.
And hold on to what is real.